own child. I would treat him like I would treat my own child. How would I deal with him if that was my real son? This is insaf in your muamalah and dealings. Then muamalat and dealings of other types, buying, selling, contracts, agreements, renting, whatever you can think of dealings. In your dealings, you have insaf and justice and fairness in it. Number two, badlul ihsan, expanding and spending, extending your kindness. And this is through, number one, talaqatul wajh, bishr, smiling nature. Now, our Prophet ﷺ was extremely beautiful, smiling person. One Sahabi says, "Ma ra'aytu ahadan akthara tabassuman min Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam." I have never seen anyone more smiling than the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Another Sahabi, Jarir ibn Abdullah, says, "Ma hajabani Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mundu aslamtu wala ra'ani illa tabassama fi wajhi." That since I embraced Islam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam never refused me anything, and never did he see me, but he smiled at me. So, smiling first of all, and then after smiling, being modest with everyone, haya. Second thing needed is haya, modesty. You know, some people are very modest, and in their muamala, dealings, treating others, they have the utmost modesty in them. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the role model in, you know, every chapter of good manners, good behavior, and he was at his peak in haya as well. He was extremely modest person. So having modesty in you, like the Sahabi said that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam was more modest than a virgin girl who's always stayed behind the veil and curtains. Imagine how bashful and modest she would be. And when Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam disliked anything, you could tell from his face. He would blush and we would realize that, you know, he didn't like this. So this haya and modesty, cringing, you know, when there is something immodest, this is the nature. Number three, it requires sakhawat, spending on others. So you extend your favors towards others. You don't be stingy, miserly. You are of a generous nature, generous, kind, soft, and you like spending on others. So badlul ihsan will include all these things. Then being of a soft nature, softly spoken, softly, you know, easily approachable, being kind and nice and gentle. This is why in a hadith says, "Shall I tell you a Jannati person?" And he said, "Kullu hayyinin layyinin." That every hayyin, layyin is a Jannati. Hayyin means very easy going, layyin means soft. So whoever is easy, soft, you know, this man is easy, you know. He's not hard, he's not rude, he's not harsh. He's got no pride in him, no arrogance in him, no showing off. You know, he's extremely kind, gentle, soft, straightforward personality. So being a soft and gentleness is a huge part of that, you know, good manners, good character, good behavior. So the second thing was badlul ihsan. All your ihsan and your favors you extend to others. And wal adlu fil ahkam, and being fair in your judgments. You know, never judge other people in a bad way. Always judge them in a good way. You know, think good about others. Never think bad about others. You know, people today, most of the fights and arguments are due to conjecture, bad thoughts, about other people. He is like that, she is like that, he said this, she said that, he did this, she did that. But forget whatever happened before. Be nice, kind to everyone. So be just in your judgments and in your rulings. Don't judge others in a bad way. This does not mean that you don't take your protection. Of course, in one riwayah, Prophet ﷺ did tell us that be cautious, be careful in your muamalat, in your dealings. Don't give in to fraudsters. Like don't be thugged by someone. So be careful in your matters. Don't let anyone get the better of you. But at the same time, he said, ظُنُّوا بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ خَيْرًا. Think good about believers. So this is al-adlu fil ahkam. We think good about others. We judge others, with fairness, equality. If something happens, we try to look for the most beautiful, way of resolving it. Think of, oh, he could have meant this, he could have meant that. No, he's not like that. He's nice person, she's a nice person, she wouldn't say that. Even if she said it, she might have meant this. Ignore it, and don't give in to those who are tale bearers and who bring bad news and who try to cause fights and frictions between family members. So be nice, kind, gentle. Mullah Qari Rahmatullah said these three things: al-insaf fil mu'amala, being fair in your dealings with others, badlul ihsan wal ma'roof, spending your ihsanat and your favors, extending them to others, and being fair in your judgments regarding others. And then he also said, al-azhuru annahu huwa al-ittiba'u bima ata bihi an-nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam min ahkam al-shari'ati wa adab al-tariqati wa ahwal al-haqiqati. That it could be said, described in another way, that following that which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam has brought from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of ahkam of sharia, the outward, appearance which we need to have, the worship which we need to do, standing before Allah, bowing down to Allah, prostrating to Allah, which is salah, supplicating to Allah, zikr of Allah, remembering Allah, tilawat of His book, reading, reciting His book, increasing your knowledge, and then other ibadat, fasting, and spending zakat and sadaqah and khairat, going to the house of Allah. This is following sharia and avoiding ma'siyats, manhiyat, sins, disobediences. Anything that is disobedience towards Allah, we avoid that. So ahkam sharia, following all those ahkam and injunctions and instructions which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has brought, adab al-tariqah, and the adab of tariqah and tasawwuf. Tasawwuf, Sufism, is not just about, feeling good and closing your eyes and yoga, and this is not the Sufism which Sharia promotes. Sufism really is what the Sufis teach us in the form of good manner, good behavior, good akhlaq towards Allah and towards the creation. God Almighty also requires some adab and respect. So we respect Allah, we respect Prophet of Allah, we respect awliya Allah, we respect our ulama, we respect our parents, we respect our elders, seniors, and then we have good akhlaq and behavior and dealings and manners, characteristics with everyone. It starts from the top, from Allah. If we respect Allah, we'll respect His Prophet, we'll respect everyone around us. So we need to have respect for everyone. This is what the Sufism teaches. And you have to read books of tasawwuf to understand all these akhlaq. And when you stay in the company of a Sufi, which is called suhbatul salihin, you stay with salihin, then you will learn from them. Because many times we know things, but we can't practice on them. Why? Because we've not seen anyone practicing on them. But when we visually see someone practicing on good behavior, good manners, good characters, we learn from them. There are many things we learn just by observing, not by words. Because words, many people say good stuff, but in reality, in their dealings, they're not as good as they sound to be. So Sufi still teaches that we should be true to our words, inward, outward. Inside we should be clean-hearted, pure, clean, and outside we should have good manners as well. Both go hand in hand together. This is when you have both things together. It's called sidq in Sufi tasawwuf. Sidqul maqal wal fi'al. Sidqul qawl wal fi'l. We are true in words and in action. And this is what Allah said in the Quran, لِيَسْأَلَ الصَّادِقِينَ عَنْ صِدْقِهِمْ. On the day of Qiyamah, the truthful will be questioned about their truth, how true they were. Now, Malik bin Dinar rahmatullahi alayhi used to say, when he used to read this verse, he would cry. He said, on the day of Qiyamah, in Maidan Hashar, when the truthful Sadiqeen will be questioned, then what will happen to us, Kazibin? We are liars. We pretend to be very good, very good behavior, good mannered, well-mannered people, whereas we are extremely arrogant and proud and shouting and screaming at others and misbehaving. If we show something, pretend to be something we are not, then this is kizb, this is a lie. So on the day of Qiyamah, when the truthful will be asked, what will happen to us liars? And this is why, he said, Allah said in the Quran, قَالَ اللَّهُ هَذَا يَوْمُ يَنْفَعُ الصَّادِقِينَ صِدْقُهُم. This is a day in which the truth will benefit the truthful. And this is why Allah told us in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Fear Allah and stay in the company of Sadiqeen. Now Allah combined both things together, taqwa and kunu ma'a Sadiqeen. Fear Allah and be with the truthful. What does that combination indicate? It indicates that if you want taqwa and piety in you, then you will have to stay in the suhbah and company of the Salihin, the Sadiqeen, the truthful people. Mufti Taqi Usmani mentioned this point, that you cannot practice on your ilm unless you stay with the amilin, those who are practicing. And this is from this verse of ittaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. So Walali Qadi Rahmatullah said the second thing, number one, ahkam sharia, number two, adab al-tariqat, and then number three, he said ahwalul haqiqat, that you get that haqiqat and reality in your heart, ma'rifat of Allah, gnosis, recognition. When you recognize Allah, when you recognize who Allah is, then your behavior will totally change. You will be a totally different person. This is why there is one riwayat or one quote which says, "Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu." Whoever recognizes his nafs, his ego, his inner self, this low base, then he will recognize his Rabb. Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. To recognize your Rabb, you need to recognize your nafs, your ego, because your ego will tell you to do all bad things, base things. But you realize that no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want me to do this, so I must stay away from it. Then you tackle your ego and your nafs, and slowly you train it, and then you get to the courtyard of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rumi rahmatullahi alayhi said, يَعْلَمُ اللَّهِ ke rahe qadam dur az do qadam, rahe khuda dur az do qadam neist. Allah knows that the path to God is only two steps. One step on your nafs, your base desires, your ego, and the second step is in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is ahwalul haqiqah. So Mullah Qadi said that husnul khuluq, good behavior, is of three things. Number one, you are abiding by the ahkam of Sharia, and also you have the adab of tariqat and tasawwuf in you. And number three, you develop the ahwal and the halat and maqamat and conditions of haqiqat and ma'rifat and gnosis of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you get that, then you are a good-mannered, well-behaved personality. I hope that explains your the answer to your question. Okay?
That was a comprehensive, very comprehensive answer. That definitely did answer the question.
Alhamdulillah. Wa shukru lillah.
Was that I want to follow with that? with good character, there's also people who have rights that from us. For example, your children, your parents, your spouse. So what rights do people have from a person, and how can we fulfill them, and how does that come into the character of a person?
Okay, mashallah, good question. Let me quote a hadith to you. You know, among the Sahaba Kiram, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, there was variety, mixture of all types. You know, ilm, tasawwuf, adl, insaf, qurbani, shuja'at, bravery, valor. You know, all these, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with everything. And this was, what can you say, acts of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam on them, because Huzur was Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam had everything, and his rays fell on the Sahaba, and he imparted that into them. So let's say Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an extremely balanced personality. Among these Sahaba, we get this Sahabi by the name of Abu Darda radiallahu anhu. He was very ascetic person, very devoted person, always worshipping, ibadat and everything. So another Sahabi by the name of Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu was once a guest at his house. So Abu Darda radiallahu anhu put food forward to him and said, "Eat, because I am fasting." So Salman Farsi said, "No, it's not Ramadan, it's not fast, it's only Nafil fast. And what, you don't need to fast this day, and I am your guest. You should eat with me. Eat with me. You can do qaza and make up for this roza later on." And then he made him eat properly, eat more, because he wouldn't eat. He was weak, frail as well. Then at night after Isha, he said to Salman, "This is your bed, take rest, sleep." So Salman said, "No, you go to sleep as well." He said, No, I'm going to do worship all night." He said, "No, you can't worship all night, go to sleep." So he put him to sleep. He was getting up in the middle of the night. He said, "No, go back to sleep." And then he woke him up towards the last portion, and he said, "Now you get up and pray your tahajjud." So he prayed his tahajjud. And in the morning, after Fajr, Salman said to Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, "Inna li nafsika alayka haqqan, wa inna li zawjika alayka haqqan, wa inna li jarika alayka haqqan, wa inna li zawjika alayka haqqan, fa'ati kulla dhi haqqin haqqahu." That, look, your body has a right over you. Your wife has a right over you. Your neighbors have a right over you. Your guests have a right over you. You should give everyone their due right. So Abu Darda radiallahu anhu mentioned this to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Sadaqa Salman." Salman spoke the truth. He's right. And this is from the wordings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself as well in other riwayah, that he said these words: your body has a right over you. You have to eat properly, halal, wholesome, good stuff. Don't eat junk food. Fulfill the right of your own body. Right? You have to sleep properly. You can't stay awake all the time. You can't stay awake for late hours. People eat pizzas and peanuts and all these fizzy drinks and Coke and Pepsi and all these things, and they ruin their health. So don't ruin your health. Good health is extremely important. Eat the right stuff. Look after your body. When you need to wash yourself properly. If you have some problem, take medicine, take medicine. If your skin is dry and you need to apply some moisturizer, use the moisturizer. One of my Ustad, Hazrat Maulana Shaykh Abdul Raheem Sahab, once came over here. He had a shower and they said, "Bring me some moisturizer cream." So this Nivea cream was brought to him, and he started applying on his hands and everywhere on his feet and everything. And he said, "My skin has a right over me. I have to look after my skin." So, first of all, your whole body has a right over you. Then he said, "Inna li zawjika alayka haqqan." Your wife has a right over you. You can't ignore her. She's your wife. She needs you, you know. And in fact, when Salman came, the wife did mention something to him that your brother Abu Darda, he's got no interest in me. So Salman did get that hint and click from the beginning. So he corrected Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, that your wife has a right over you. You know, look after her, look good for her, treat her well, feed her well, clothe her well, go outside, earn some money, provide for her. So the wife has a right over you. And then, you know, your children have a right over you. If you have children, Allah blesses you with children, look after them, treat them well, give them good education. This is mentioned in one hadith wherein our Prophet ﷺ said, "Man wulida lahu walad, falyuhsin ismahu wa adabahu, فإذا بلغ فليزوجه, فإن بلغ ولم يزوجه فأصاب إثما فإنما إثم ذلك على أبيه أو كما قال عليه السلام." Whosoever has a child, then he should first of all give him a good name, beautiful name. And number two, he should give him good education, good upbringing, good treating, you know, good behavior, good manners. Adab includes everything. Good education, good training, good nurturing, good manners, good behavior. So teach your children good adab. And when they become mature, you know, wed them, enter them into wedlock marriage. فَلْيُزَوِّجْهُ. If you don't wed them when they've reached that age and they need to, and they commit some sin, zina, fornication, then the sin will go on the father for his neglect. فَإِنَّمَا إِثْمُ ذَلِكَ عَلَى أَبِيهِ. Imagine what's happening in the society today. How many youngsters have reached, in fact, past that age of wedlock and nikah, and their parents are holding them back. No, you're not ready yet. No, you're not ready yet. No, you have to have your own house. You have to have your own Mercedes, and you have to have this and that. You know, and they get to the age of 28, 30, 32, and they're still at home. So this is one of the ills of the society. The Prophet has said, your child has a right over you, boy or girl. You have to look after them, you know, think of them, get them married quickly, do their nikah. So there's the huquq of awlad.
That's why sometimes you get a lot of youngsters coming and they say that my father doesn't listen to me or my parents, they're not, especially like today's society has changed and like I like somebody or whatever. So the thing is, I think it's a two-way thing that I think nowadays your parents have to sit with their children as well and listen to them as well. Before came the time that we just accept. I think nowadays
100% agree. I agree with you. Parents should sit down with the children, listen to them, and you know, if they have found someone suitable, then Bismillah. When there is no compatibility and there is risk of something, and the parents say that this is this, and you have to talk to your children. Today, people don't talk to their children. I don't know why they got zip on their lips. They don't want to say a word to them. And wherever, I don't know anything. What's what I have? Because somebody but you don't treat your children like that. Listen to them. You know, listen to them attentively.
Those parents, they come to us, they say, my student doesn't listen to them. And the son that says, we try to listen for our parents don't listen to what we're trying to say. So we try to explain to the parents, like,
parents should listen to the children because the children do have rights on the parents. You know, we focus a lot on the rights of parents, but not on the rights of children. So I think we as ulama should deliver some bayans on the rights of children as well. Because our children have huge rights over us. We have to nurture them properly. You see, you know, the rights of children do not start from birth. They start from before birth. You know what I mean? Prophet ﷺ said, تَخَيَّرُوا لِنُطَفِكُمْ. You should choose for your wedding life. You know, choose your wife properly. Don't just go with anybody you start liking. Select properly, choose, because she's going to be the mother of your children. So think carefully before you get married, and then stay with them, for the rest of your lives. And whatever children you have, children are a blessing from Allah. Look after those children, nurture them properly. They will be an asset for you, for the society. If they are good behaved, well behaved, good children, then they will be asset for you and for the society. They will serve the society. They will become doctors, lawyers, barristers, engineers. And at the same time, they will look after you because they've got good manners, good behavior. And after you die, if you've given them good dini education as well at the same time, then after you die, then they will regularly send you some Yasin Sharif, some Sadaqah Khairat after you die. Even in your qabr, your children will benefit you in your grave. So, with regards to children, this is the third haqq which we mentioned. The right of your body, the right of your wife, the right of your children, then the right of your neighbors and the right of your guests and mehmans. So we should give them all their due rights. Now, as for the rights of parents, let me just mention one hadith regarding rights of parents, because parents do have a lot of rights on the children as well. And Quran talks a lot about the rights of parents. And wherever you see in the Quran, وَبِالْ وَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِالْ وَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. This is, why Quran talks a lot about rights of parents. Because normally when children are born and they grow up, parents sacrifice everything for them. But when those children, reach the maturity age, maybe 25, 30, then their parents are in old age. They are maybe into their late 60s or 70s or whatever. Now, at that time, they are extremely vulnerable. So they need the support and the help of their children. So Quran reminds us a lot about the rights of parents, that look after your parents. They looked after you when you couldn't do anything. You couldn't even go for istinja. You couldn't eat. You couldn't drink. They fed you. They changed your nappies. They looked after you. They did everything for you. They didn't have to do it, but they did it because they loved you. When they showed you love when you were young, then you should show them love when they are old and you've reached that age. So this is why maybe Quran focuses a lot on the rights of parents, because Quran knew that, until the day of Qiyamah, there will be people who will abuse and insult and their parents and, treat them badly. So this is where Quran talks a lot about. So I'll just mention one hadith. One Sahabi asked, Ya Rasulullah, ma haqqul walidayni ala waladihima? Ya Rasulullah, what is the right of parents over their children? Simple question. What is the right of parents over their children? So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was amazing. He was blessed with jawami'ul kalim, succinct words which have oceans of meaning. And you know the answer he'll give. You want to guess the answer over here? Like, kya naam aapka? What? Sorry? Babar bhai, give me, what do you think? What is the answer to this question? What is the right of parents over children?
They have every right over you.
Okay. Maulana Sajid? You might know the hadith, so you might say, but tell me something good answer. Okay, I'll tell you the hadith. Prophet ﷺ was asked, Ma haqqul walidayni ala waladihima? You know what he said? He said, Huma jannatuka wa naruka. They are either your Jannah or they are your Jahannam. The choice is yours. You serve them well, they are your Jannah. You treat them badly, then they are your Jahannam. And this is the meaning of Jannah is beneath the feet of the mothers. And this is the meaning of that the father is the best gateway to Jannah. You can either protect that gate or you can destroy it. You see, the father is the door. You open the door, you go inside. So father is the door to Jannah. You look after your father, make him happy, you're in Jannah. And you abuse him, insult him, treat him badly, then that's the door to Jahannam. So it's up to you. So,
like the beautiful word that you're saying, is how we apply it in our life. Like you said, when our parents are young, they can do things. Once they reach that old age and dementia, they might need
a lot of care. They might need a lot of care. So we have to provide that care for them.
Yeah, that's the time we need to step up. We might do in the old age when they need us, and when they might tell us about, or they might, nag us.
Yeah.
Start shouting.
This is not something just Islamic. It's universal. Every religion says this. I once read in the papers, this nurse, right? She's Christian, but her mother had cancer. So she was looking after her. So this came to a stage where the mother was in great pain. So she needed care, and the nurse, took leave from her job. And they said, I'm not coming to work anymore, I have to look after my mom. He said, well, you can put some care or something. No, I want to look after my mom. And she gave up her job, money, income, everything, just to look after her mother. And for 2 to 3 years, she looked after her in the best possible manner. Now, she's not a Muslimah. Who told her? It's in nature of human beings that our parents have rights over us. We have to look after them. So she looked after her beautifully for maybe, 2, 3 years, however long she had cancer. And when the mother died, she found a better job, back to work. This did not stop her from working. Allah gave her, in another way, and Allah blessed her with so much afterwards. So if you treat your parents well, not only does Allah reward you in the hereafter, He rewards you in this dunya as well. And I know of a person, is a Muslim person, he's a businessman, he's in Leicester. He has some clothing business, and his business was going up and down. So his father was very old, and he would struggle to go to the masjid in car driving. So there was a house for sale near the Masjid Umar, and he inquired about it and said, let me buy this house for my dad and make it easy for him just across the road. So at that time it was something like 200,000 pounds. But he somehow gathered 200,000 pounds, bought that house, and he said, Abba, you live there. You don't have to drive, you can easy go to the masjid, there's a crossroad 5 times a day, no problem. His father was really happy. And his father must have made dua for him from the depth of his heart. Today, that person is from among the millionaires of Leicester. See, Allah gives you in this dunya, you don't have to wait for the akhirat. He's going to give you in the akhirat. But if you look after your parents well, Allah delivers that, Allah delivers that reward for that in this dunya. So it is up to us. We have to look after our parents. They have rights over us. Everybody has rights, Our wives have the rights. Treat them nicely, kindly. In some riwayat, Prophet ﷺ said, you feed them well from what you eat, you clothe them from what you wear, and do not abuse them, and do not, abandon them. Look after them. We see the hadith of, Hajjatul Wada, the last farewell sermon, in which Prophet ﷺ said these same words, that remember your wives have right over you. They have left their homes, their parents, their siblings, their comfort, and they married you and they came to your house. Allah could have said that you go to their house. No, they come to your house. So, welcome them, look after them, treat them well. Don't treat them like slaves. So this is in the hadith, that we have to be kind to our, wives as well, our wives, our children, our guests, our neighbors. They all have rights over us. You can't abuse your neighbors, whoever they are, Muslims, non-Muslim, they are our neighbors. So we have to treat them nicely. If something happens to our neighbors, we should rush to their help. If they have some problem, run and help them. If they are in need, some death or something, go to them, the bereavement, console them, give them tasalli. If they are suffering from poverty, they can't pay bills, help them. Just go and give them some money. Sadaqah nafila. Even if they are non-Muslim, help them. We are going through this pandemic, and people have lost their jobs. Someone might be going through difficulties. Someone, who's lost their benefits, pushing the pushchair with small kids in there. Bichari, she hasn't even got proper coat, proper clothes. Buy some coat for her children. Give her some food. Look after them. Our Salafi Salihin, they used to look after the widows and the weak among the society. They would go to their homes, provide for them. Just the other day I was reading about Maulana Azizur Rahman Sahib, who was the Grand Mufti of Darul Uloom Deoband. Now his habit that in the early morning, before going to work, there were some widows, elderly ladies in the vicinity. He would go to their homes and ask them that, maybe agar dukaan se kuch soda woda lana ho to mujhe keh do, main le aata hu. If you need any shopping, then tell me, I'll go and get that shopping for you. So someone would say, get me this much, this, get me this, get me this, and he would go to the market, buy everything, and go and deliver that to everybody's house. Sometimes some of them will say, you bought the wrong thing, I told you to buy this, and you bought this. It's no problem. Someone would say, I told you to buy half a kilo, you bought 750 grams. No problem, I'll return it. And then after khidmat of these makhlooq, he would then go to his Darul Ifta and write fatwas. So he's a Grand Mufti, and he's doing service of these elderly ladies within the society. So this is what Allah loves. When you serve them, someone's dua affects you, and Allah accepts their dua, and their dua, takes you to the highest of the high positions. And the dua of masakin is extremely powerful.
These examples that you're mentioning, I think they're quite relevant at this time, especially with the pandemic.
True.
People are
Bishop.
jobs and they stuck at home. And
Bishop.
I think that's the beauty about Deen that, mashallah, like you mentioned, I think two things that get us through this. One is our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our faith. And secondly, our family, our people around us. So whilst we're at home, we might be stuck at home. People are, working from home. Children are working from home. Schools. We're seeing there's a lot of domestic issues that are arising. So sometimes we're hearing people are fighting amongst themselves. So how can we bring this peace and harmony, especially during these times?
The root of all bad manners, ill behavior, is kibr, takabbur, pride, haughtiness, arrogance. So we need to get rid of that pride and haughtiness and bring the opposite of it, which is tawadu, humility, humbleness. The more humility you have, the better your characters and your behavior. And the more pride and arrogance you have, the more ill-mannered you will be. So the root of all problems is our arrogance, our pride. We have to swallow our pride. And sometimes we have to swallow it and just say, ignore and say, no, I'm wrong. If someone tells us you're wrong, say, okay, I admit I'm wrong. It won't happen again. This is why we read in the Quran about pride. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, سَأَصْرِفُ عَنْ آيَاتِيَ الَّذِينَ يَتَكَبَّرُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. I will turn away from my signs those who are haughty in the land. In another place, Allah said, أَلَيْسَ فِي جَهَنَّمَ مَثْوًى لِلْمُتَكَبِّرِينَ. Is there not enough place in the hell for the proud and haughty? In another place, Allah said, إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْتَكْبِرِينَ. Indeed, Allah does not like the mustakbirin, those who think big of themselves. And this is why in another riwayat, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. A person who has an atom's weight of pride in his heart will not enter paradise. You can't enter Jannah with any pride in your heart. That pride needs to be killed off. Either we kill it off here, or it will be killed off in the fire of Jahannam. So it's better if we finish off our pride over here and bring humility. If you notice, this will be the root of all fights within the house. Why are two brothers fighting? Why is the son fighting with the father? Why is the wife arguing with the husband? Why is the husband, shouting and abusing the wife? Why are all the fights in the societies, the gun culture, the knife crimes, the gun shooting, the drug warlords, and all these things in the society? If you see, then end will come to this root cause of pride, takabbur, haughtiness, arrogance. So if we want to bring a peaceful, harmonious society and develop and make the society, peaceful, harmonious, what we need to do is bring humility within us. And as they say, charity begins at home. So this humility will begin at home. I need to bring that humility and humbleness in me first. If I am not humble, how can I give you a lesson on humbleness? So I have to be humble. I have to get rid of my pride. I can't be arrogant with anyone. I have to be humble, down to earth. And then I can teach other people to be humble and have humility in them as well. Now, sometimes, a person is not arrogant. He wears nice clothes. He has a nice car. He behaves nicely. And he likes that. So, is that pride? Now, the answer to this question is also in the hadith. When the Prophet ﷺ said this, that a person who has an atom's weight of kibr and pride will not go in Jannah, one Sahabi asked, Ya Rasulullah, inna rajula yuhibbu an yakuna thawbuhu hasanan wa na'luhu hasanatan. A person wants his clothes to look good and his shoes and slippers to be good looking. So is that pride? And Prophet ﷺ said, no. Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal. That's beauty. And Allah is beautiful. He loves beauty. You have to beautify yourself. You have to have a good appearance. You have to wear nice clothes. You have to look good. That's not pride. That's jamal, husn, beauty. And then we define pride. He said, al-kibru batarul haqqi wa ghamtun nas. Pride is to reject the truth and belittle people. To reject haqq, haqq, truth. If someone gives you the haqq, that this is haqq, this is true, and what you're saying is not right, that's wrong, so you accept it. You don't say, no, even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to accept it. Even if you're right, I'm not going to accept it. So if someone delivers haqq to you, tells you that this is right, you accept it. You don't deny and reject it, and you say, no, I'm not going to accept it, no matter what happens. And this is that pride which leads to kufr and disbelief as well. Abu Jahl, he knew the Prophet ﷺ, he saw mu'jizat, and he knew deep down his heart that the Prophet ﷺ is truthful and whatever he's saying is right. But he said, I'm not going to accept it. No matter what happens, I'm not going to accept it. And, he said, Muhammad, you are a very nice person. We are not calling you a liar, but the Quran which you read is a lie. Now, what contradiction? Look at the contradiction in his words. Because the Quran, who was bringing the Quran? Muhammad. So he said, we believe you are a truthful, you're not a liar, but the Quran is a lie. So this is his takabbur. He said, I'm not going to believe you. No matter what you do, I'm never going to believe you. Huyay ibn Akhtab, he was a leader of the Jewish tribes in Medina, Banu Nadir. And when Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina, he and his brother and others went to see the Prophet ﷺ. And when they came back, they were conversing among themselves. And Huyay ibn Akhtab said to his friend, companion, that I know that Muhammad is true, but I'm never going to believe in him. By my life, over my dead body, I'm never going to accept what he said. This is the result of the kibr and the pride, which leads to disbelief. So if we remove that pride from us and have an open mind and study and realize, and then we will accept the haqq and the truth. Kibr is to reject the haqq and the truth and reject it outright altogether. I'm not going to accept it no matter what happens. And ghamtulnas, kibr is to belittle people. You say, Fulani is look up at top, Fulani is bewakoof, he doesn't know anything. I am big, I understand better. This is belittling people. So wearing nice clothes, having a nice car, having a good appearance, having a good job, having good money is not takabbur. It's husn, jamal, beautiful. It's okay, it's your right. You can have good money, you can earn halal money, you can eat, look after your family, have a nice life. Allah loves people who have a nice life. This hadith comes to my mind from Sahih Muslim. Inna Allah ta'ala yuhibbu al-abd al-ghaniy al-taqiyy al-khafiyy. Indeed, Allah loves a person who is ghani, rich, and who is at-taqi, parhezgar, who is God-fearing, pious, and al-khafi, who is gumnam, down to earth, who's not famous among people. So he has three qualities in him. He is rich, he is pious, and he is down to earth. Allah loves that person. So he didn't say that ghina and richness is something wrong. It's good. And in this day and age, we need money. Without money, we're going to start begging in front of people. So we have to have a nice job, nice business, nice income, nice money coming in, and rich. And at the same time, we have to have taqwa, pray 5 times a day, fulfill duties, give sadaqah, khairat, help other people, and be down to earth and khafi and gumnam. Don't show off too much. Don't show your money. Don't show your flashy car. And some people like showing off. Though they don't have money, but they like showing off. They hire a Ferrari and then go and it's my Ferrari, I'm very rich. That's no good. That's showing off. Why do you show off? So this is the root cause of all the ills of the society, in my understanding, and in Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah's understanding, because he told Hazrat Mufti Sufi Iqbal Sahab to write this book, which is titled Ummul Amraz, the mother of all sicknesses, the mother of all diseases. The spiritual internal diseases. The mother of all internal diseases is kibr, takabbur, pride. Pride can be in everyone. In a scholar, because of his ilm, he thinks I am the most learned person. In a speaker, he thinks I'm the best speaker in the world. Nobody can speak like me. And pride can be in wealthy people. I am the most wealthier. I am millionaire, billionaire. Pride can be in good-looking people. I am the most gorgeous, most good-looking. I am the beauty queen. I'm the best in the town, and everybody should look at me and no one else. Pride can be in children. I have the best toys. Pride can be in anyone and everyone. So we have to control that pride, get rid of it, and bring humility and humbleness within us. If everybody brings this within them, then inshallah we will see all these fights and arguments being removed and peace and harmony coming in the society. And I'll just finish off on this question by, how can we bring this softness and gentleness within us? First of all, we need to get attached to our ulama, sulaha, mashayikh, ahlullah, sufiya kiram, get bayat, stay in their company, learn from them. Like I myself, I was attached to my Hazrat Maulana Mutala Sahib, and Hazrat, he used to give us some wazifas from time to time. Hazrat had great love for us. We had great love for us. So once Hazrat told me that, Abdul Raheem, when you go to sleep, read Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu, according to the count and amount of your name. And he told me how to calculate the number wise from Abjad, who was Mutti, Kaliman, Safas, Qarishat, Taqal, Zaghat, and the amount of Abdul Raheem, like Bismillah has 786. So the letters in Ba, Sin, Mim, Lam, Ha, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, they have all numbers. If you add them up, comes to 786. Muhammad, Mim, Ha, Mim, Dal, they come to 92. So Abdul Rahim comes to 365. So Hazrat told me to read Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu 365 times before going to sleep. So I practiced on that for some time, and I felt this real, rahmat and kindness and softness and gentleness coming in my heart. Every day when you read that, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu, Allah brings that rahmat in your heart. He makes you, Rahim and kind and merciful towards others. That sifat, an attribute of rahmat and mercy comes in your heart when you read that. So if you want your heart to be soft and gentle, and you want to be humble and show humility to others, what you need to do is, work on yourself. Stay in the company of Mashaykh, learn from them. This is a good wazifa I've given you. Read Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu. Sorry, Ya Rahman. Hazrat told me wazifa of Ya Rahimu. Sorry, Ya Rahimu. Ya Rahimu, Ya Rahimu, Ya Rahimu. And Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu is mentioned by Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi Rahmatullah alayhi, that if you struggle to practice on deen and you want to be focused, but you can't pray your salah properly, you're being down sometimes, you want istiqamat and steadfastness, then Hazrat said pray 5 times a day, and after every namaz read 21 times Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu. Bas 21 times. Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahim, 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 21 times, and slowly, Allah will bring that steadfastness in you. He will give you that istiqamah. So we have ways of doing things, working on ourselves, on our nafs, our ego, and bringing good traits, good akhlaq, good behavior, good manners within us. And when we work on that, inshallah, all ills of the society will be removed and the society will be extremely peaceful and harmonious.
Inshallah. Shaykh, somebody in the comments asked questions about the topic which we mentioned a little bit earlier in the talk that we were talking is about children and marriage. So we've been asked, what age should the subject of marriage be spoken of for the first time with regard to children, particularly when the school talk about marriage and gender and talk about topics like that? So it's a little bit off topic from what we're talking about.
Okay. Now, is this question from a parent or from a youngster? It depends. And there won't be any age in there. I think, I don't know what to say. The age of marriage and nikah in this country is 18, right? Am I right on that, Rabbi? Or is it 16? When marriage is legally allowed? 16. Well, that's it then. If they allow you to get married at 16, then you should start talking about marriage at 16. That's legal. It's perfectly okay. Because why I am saying this, abide by the law of the land and keep the law of Allah in mind as well. If we were to talk about the law of Allah, then it would require talking about at an even earlier age. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because in Islam, the rulings change at puberty. When a boy or a girl, reaches puberty, that's when the rulings change. So this is why, they used to have marriages at a very young age in their society. And it was common among them. And in Bukhari Sharif, it is mentioned that this Ravi narrator says, Adraktu jaddatan ibnata ihda wa ishrina sanatan. I have seen a maternal grandmother by the age of 21. So this lady at 21 was a grandmother. She gave birth to a girl when she was 11, and that girl got married and gave birth at the age of 11. So this girl, this lady is 21, but was a grandmother. Now this is how in that society they used to think of their children and get them married quickly. So we have to abide by the law of the land and at least start talking about marriage at the age of 16, because in this day and age, marriage is not easy. It takes time. We have attached so many strings to it. The money side, and then the dowry, and the nikah, and then the rukhsati, and then the honeymoon, and all these, it takes maybe a year or 2 or 3 years. So if we start now, then after I don't know how many months or years, you're going to end up living together. So you have to start very early. And if we don't do that, then our youngsters are going to end up in sin. The society is going to be filled with zina. This brings to my mind a hadith where Prophet ﷺ talks about proposals. And he said that, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, إِذَا خَطَبَ إِلَيْكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوهُ تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. When there comes to you proposal of someone whose deen you like and whose akhlaq you like, then give them your daughter. If you don't do this, then there will be fitna in the land and widespread fasad and corruption. So Prophet ﷺ said, to accept a proposal, the criteria is two things. Number one, deen, that the person has deen in them. That he's dindar, he prays 5 times namaz. His mentality is dindari, religious minded. And akhlaq, he's got good behavior, he's not stingy, he's not stubborn, he's not arrogant, he's not a show off. He's got humility, generosity, the family is good, his parents are good, his brothers and sisters are good. You can check his Facebook account and see how, who he hangs out with and what type of person he or she is. And you get that proposal where deen and akhlaq, 2 things you like. Then don't look for other things of job and money and car and this and that. Don't look for too many things. If you go for too many things, you're never going to find 100% perfect person. There will be something somewhere, so you have to give and take. Maybe 60, 70, 50% of your requirements are fulfilled, get married. Don't wait for the 100%. Mr. 100% will never be found. And he will never find a hulayin. He'll have to wait for Jannat if he wants a hulayin. So whatever he gets, he'll have to be content with that. So the 2 things is you find, give your daughter in marriage to them. Otherwise, what did the Prophet say? If you don't do that, and if you keep waiting and children keep waiting, then there will be fitna on the earth and widespread corruption. Fitna, he indicated towards zina. Zina is a fitna. Fornication. The zina will spread everywhere. Because these people, we have desires. We are human beings. We're not angels. We have shaitan working on us. We have our nafs working on us. Which are these youngsters, where they're going to go? I'm going to keep fighting their nafs and shaitan all the time. You can't fight your nafs and shaitan all the time. You have to be a big buzruk to fight the nafs and shaitan all the time. So with these youngsters, bichara, they don't have too much deen knowledge in them, and then you make them suffer at home, then what's going to happen? Zina will spread. They will go and fulfill their desires elsewhere in a haram way. And for Sabi Ali, widespread corruption. Zina leads to other things. Leads to many other ills in the society. So in order to get rid of this zina and get rid of the widespread corruption, we need our children to do nikah quickly. When they do nikah quickly and start living a healthy life and togetherness and family life and settle down. When you do nikah, the Prophet ﷺ said half of your deen is protected. You'll have to worry about the other half. Because nikah, your wife is a big shaykh. She does your islah. She makes you right, bring you online. The parents can't do islah of the son, but the wife can do islah of the husband. As soon as she comes, she's pious. She works on him and she brings him online. And he stops misbehaving, running around at night till late night, 2 o'clock in discos and here and there. He starts coming home quickly, going to sleep, children, looking after children, and the life is transformed. So nikah is a beautiful thing. We should let our children do nikah as quickly as possible and not delay. Otherwise, lots of fitna and fasad will spread in the society. I'm not saying this. Your Prophet is saying this, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ji, Maulana Sahab, does that answer your question?
We've just got one more question that somebody is just asking. You have to do khidmat of deen, father permits, and the mom looks the child doing it, was sad that the child do not do much khidmat of home. It's very wrong for the child to now strive to do more deeny work. I think basically she's trying to say a lot of youngsters, they have just more deen, and sometimes because they get so engaged, they forget the khidmat of their parents.
Now you see, parents vary in age and in health. If the parents are young and they are healthy, they can look after themselves, then the child should do the charitable work. But if the parents are elderly and they are not so well, then I think the khidmat of parents takes precedence over the khidmat of others in the form of charity. Let me tell you this hadith. You know, this Sahabi came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I want to go in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sacrifice my life, jihad fi sabilillah. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, Ahayyun walidaka? Are your parents alive? And he said, yes. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Fafihima fajahid. Go and do your jihad in them. Now, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam realized that his parents needed him. Perhaps he was the only child. They were dependent on him. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, you can't go. Go and look after your parents. So you have to weigh the, everything, weigh the options and weigh the scenario. And where parents are more needy, give them preference. But where they are independent, they can look after themselves. Your father is working, mother is working, they have a job, they look after themselves. Then you can give preference to the charity work and whatever. So every individual case will have a separate answer. We can't give one blanket ruling for each and every individual person. Okay? Abraham, is that okay? You want to add anything to that?
I think because we've got phones and the whole world's on a phone, I think one thing, and I did mention in Juma as well, that with parents, especially if they're old age, they don't know how to use the phone. They just want their child's time and them to communicate. And I think nowadays, time, unfortunately, we don't have. Everybody seems to be too busy, whether it's working, whether it's friends, or whether it's people are occupied with their phones.
So this mobile phone has destroyed our lives, Maulana Sahab. These newlywed couples went for a honeymoon to Malaysia. Now she's on her phone. Phone. So the husband said, "Man, put your phone away, man. We come here for honeymoon." He said, No. These are my friends' texts. I have to answer them. It's rude not to answer them. So, he said to her a few times, but then he got frustrated. He fell asleep. So that's not right. You can't treat your husband like that. You can't give preference to your friends and your mobile phone and your connection and Facebook. These friends are not loyal. They're not real friends. There's only social media friends. Your real friends are those who are with you, sitting with you. And today what we do is, even when we are among our friends, we are at a distance from them and we are close to someone who is America and Australia. We are talking to them, chatting to them, but this person, your brother, your sister, your parents sitting around you, you're at a distance from them and you're close to those who are in America and Canada and elsewhere. So that should not be the case. Our mobile phone should have a limit. It's for our own benefit, not for the benefit of others. We use it when we are free. People can contact us when we are available. Otherwise, put the phone away and fulfill the rights. As we said in the beginning, every person has a right over you. Fulfill the rights of everyone. Your parents have right, your wife has right, your children have right. So don't go on your mobile and neglect them and fulfill the rights of others, whereas you're neglecting the most important rights of your parents, your wife, your children, your friends, those people around you sitting with you. Just put the phone away. Don't pay any attention to it. What do you say? Okay.
I think everything was that what you said is people need to apply it how whenever the people would come to the process and ask them what is the best normal in the process would give them according to whatever situation they're in.
Good observation. True, correct.
To see ourselves where are we. I can't compare my life to Babar or yourself, Ustaji. Everybody's in different scenarios and circumstances.
That's right.
It's always all these bunch of whatever you taught us today to apply them. Now different, and our deen is such that we'll probably spend 1 hour of our day in the masjid for our 5-time prayers, but 23 hours of our life is with our people around us, whether it be our family members, whether it be colleagues at work, whether it be people in the masjid or our friends. So it's It's our muamalat, it's our conduct, our social conduct.
That's right.
With them.
Exactly.
We apply ourselves with them.
And
that's the beauty of our deen. It's a whole way of life, not just, we live in the masjid, we take the business everywhere, wherever we are.
ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा काम. No problem. It was a pleasure to be with you. Inshallah, we'll meet again. Inshallah. Bye. Thank you so much for taking me on. Jazakallah. May Allah reward you. May Allah be pleased with you. May Allah make this program beneficial for everyone. Okay. Subhanallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik.
Brothers that will be joining us, they have a YouTube channel called The Two White Muslims. Mashallah, they will talk about their journey towards Islam and mashallah, how they're doing a lot of effort of deen. So, inshallah, join us next week.
Okay, inshallah. I will join you. I'll listen to you, inshallah. I will definitely listen, inshallah. But no, sorry. I'll go another program next week. I have to join another program in Hyde next week, Manchester. So it's exactly the same time as yours. So maybe I'll listen afterwards, but not at that same time. Okay. Inshallah, we will make dua, inshallah. No problem, inshallah. Okay. We'll finish off by the beautiful hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Sil man qata'ak, wa'fu amman zalamak, wa ahsin ila man asa'a ilayk." Join the relations of those who cut off with you, and pardon those who treat you unjustly, and be kind to those who are bad towards you. 3 beautiful sentences. Beautiful sentences. Silman qata', join the relations with those who cut you off. Sometimes your brother cuts you off, your sister cuts you off, even your father cuts you off, but you still join that relationship. Because you will have to answer for your conduct on the day of Qiyamah, and they will have to answer for their conduct. So if they treated you badly, that does not give you the green light to treat them badly as well. So join the relations with those who cut you off and sever you, and wa'fu amman zalama, those who do zulm on you, who oppress you, who are unjust towards you. Then Prophet ﷺ said, pardon them, overlook. Ignore, don't pay, just move on with your life. Ignore that person, pardon him, be nice to him. And وَأَحْسِنْ إِلَى مَنْ أَسَاءَ إِلَيْكَ. If someone treated you badly, don't treat him badly. Don't pay him for what he did. Yeah, I'm going to pay you for what you did. So no, that's not Islamic. Be nice to him. He did what he did. It was a mistake on his part. But you should behave in a good way. You should show your akhlaq. He showed his side, you should show your side. He showed his side by being bad, you should show your side by being good to them, treating them with kindness and courtesy and in the best possible manner. When Muaz ibn Jabal was going towards Yemen, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him very nice instructions. Among the last instruction he gave him was, "Ahsin khuluqaka linnas." Ya Muaz, make sure your characters are good with people. Deal with people in the best possible manner. And another hadith said, "Ittaqillaha haythuma kunta, wa atbi'is sayyi'ata al-hasanata tamhuha, wa khaliqin nasa bi khuluqin hasan." Fear Allah wheresoever you may be. Be mindful of it. Keep Him in your mind all the time. And follow a bad deed with a good deed. If you do something bad, do something good instantly. This good will wipe out and eradicate that bad thing which you did. And khaliqin nasa bi khuluqin hasan. And deal with people in the most beautiful manners. And treat them in the most kindness and most beautiful manner. ठीक है, बस इसी पर हम खत्म करते हैं. This is the nasihat of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam which I am conveying to you. May Allah give us the ability to practice on our way. Preach. Jazakumullah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya